this guy with his, probably strange past.
Yeah, let's bring you in, Tomas. What was your first reaction when you saw the script, when you read the character, and what were some of those initial conversations that you guys had?
Well, when I first saw the script, I knew I had to do it. I'm a big fan of 80s, 70s cinema. And actually, the film sort of reminded me of a really old film, a William Hurt film called Eyewitness. And I thought when I first saw the script, and also too, there was a small pitch deck, and in that.
It's a very small.
Yeah, it was very small.
How small are we talking?
Yeah, it was miniature. But anyway, they had actors on there, like an ideal cast. And one of the actors was Clark Peters from the TV show The Wire. And I have been mistaken for Clark Peters like 2 or 3 times in airports. So I thought, this is a sign. I got to do this. I definitely have to do it. And after reading the script, it also lends itself to something I used to do, in between acting gigs, which is known as skip tracing. And so Jasper, he's in a room by himself, and he's investigating, lost letters. I investigated people who were elusive, who were either missing or, just disappearing.
Right.
And assets. So it was a perfect fit.
Yeah, you had that lived experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it started with the dead male concept. When did synthesizers come into this?
Well, just like, what else would the guy who gets captured do but be a synthesizer engineer? It's kind of a layup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a straight line.
Yeah, no, so Kyle and I, co-director, he was here opening night, couldn't be here tonight. This is all just as much his as mine. If I say anything stupid, just picture him as the eloquent of a partner. But no, we grew up playing music and opening synths and messing with broken keys, and kind of loved the analog era of synthesizers more than the digital. Hit the button and here's a French horn. Just sort of a fascinating tech. So we took this opportunity to incorporate it into a film.
And obviously that's very built into the music of the film as well. Can you talk about building that? What kind of conversations you went for with your composer? How you kind of arrived at this soundscape tonally and sonically?
Yeah, there were some classical pieces in there, Purcell, a bunch of others that I forget the names of. Some Bach. I think the main piece is an old Bach piece that Sterling/Josh plays. But yeah, it felt like a motivated choice to use the old analog synths. We still had a couple, so we kind of did some composing ourselves, and then used some of these classical pieces as kind of themes and benchmarks. And Wendy Carlos, if you've seen A Clockwork Orange, The Shining, huge influence on kind of how to manipulate the synthesizer for us in a way that's just super unique and not like an 80s pop riff, which is typically how it's utilized.
Absolutely. We'll turn over to the audience in just a moment, but I also want to hear about the production design. Where did you find this very specific home?
So we wanted to shoot in Illinois, where we thought it should take place. We're both from the Midwest, and people are very, not into that in the Midwest. Hey, can we use your super old home for 3 weeks? And it's like, who are you? I have guns. So we hodgepodge together all the locations in LA. There was a juvenile hall detention center. That's where this guy memorized most of his lines. Trent's house for 5 locations, which is kind of brutal. Yeah, don't look too closely at the door from the outside versus the inside. But yeah, we pulled it together on old locations in LA, and the prop house is there. Mad love to them for having things like an old mailbox and all the things that you take for granted when you try to shoot the Midwest at Marge's house.
And Tomas, did you have a say in your characters, where they ended up in those titles at the very end? How did that come to be?
No.
How did that whole sequence end up in the movie?
That was a 5 a.m. Editing choice that Kyle actually sent me. He gets all the credit for that one. And I laughed so hard in the morning. I was like, let's just keep this in. And then once you submit the DCP and you spent all your money, you're kind of stuck with it until someone distributes the film. So if there's anyone here, anyway.
Yeah, let's turn over to the audience for a few questions. We'll start here in the front.